Let's dive into today's episode. It's going to be a fast find, and we are talking about finding your happy space in your home because we just had a larger conversation about finding your happy place in general. But I feel like there's a lot we can say about just your home, especially if you're in a situation where you can't up and move to the state of your dreams or country of your dreams or house of your dreams, even.
Exactly. And I think it's 2025 and a lot of people work from home. So that work-life balance is important.
Yeah.
And I think finding a space where you are really productive, but then also finding a space where you know that you can snuggle and be comfy and journal and meditate and have that space, but it's a different space from your productive space. So you're not just only living in productivity mode. You have that actual visual cue to shut your brain off.
Yeah. And like on the topic of visual cues, there's a lot that can be spoken about there because we do anchor, like as humans, it's a very natural thing with the way our brains are wired. We anchor certain things, emotions, feelings, experiences to specific things, if you will. So it's like they say, like scent is one of the biggest triggers for memory. That idea is true for everything. So if you have a corner of your home that you dedicate to working, you will have a shift in your energy when it comes to sitting in that little corner and like getting a little boost of motivation. It's not perfect every time per se, but it makes a huge difference. So anchoring is super important, and there are ways that you can anchor intentionally in your home to get the most out of every corner of your space.
Yeah, even if it's small, right? I live in an apartment, you live in an apartment.
Yeah.
But that intentionality of your space is really important, and it's less about like feng shui and more like the moment that you need to create at that moment in time for you to get whatever you need out of that space. So, Brooke, tell us, where do you feel the most productive in your space?
Currently, I have a little office set up in the corner of my living room because I live in an apartment. So again, it's not ideal. Would I love to have a dedicated office? Absolutely. Do I have that? No, I live in a one bedroom. So I have a corner in my living room that I have my big ass calendar up. Shout out to Sietzler. I have a standing desk, my monitor, like the whole nine. And that little corner is my productivity space. Am I perfect about using it all the time? No. And I want to call that out because I want to make sure like anyone listening knows like, hey, like perfection is not what we're going for here, but there is a different energy when you can be consistent with it. And I notice when I get more motivation when I'm standing in that corner of the living room, which sounds freaking insane, but it's true. Versus the times when I work from bed or work from the couch, the motivation or inspiration really isn't as high.
It's different. And even a lighting situation.
Oh my God, yeah.
I used to have my desk in my apartment in like a little back corner where there really wasn't any light. I had a little lamp on my desk and that was fine, but it wasn't the same as being close to a window, because that light is just so important to me for productivity, for feeling awake, for feeling caffeinated, all that jazz.
Yep.
So for me, when I moved my desk into my living space, was it ideal? Did I want to do that? No, I really didn't, because that was my living space. But it is in a corner, and I do live in an apartment, so there's like that, we only have so many corners to use up. But I love it now because I get that light, and it is the second I cross over the threshold to that corner, I'm in work mode.
Yep.
And that's super important to me.
100%. And we're talking a lot about work right now, but I think this is also true for, again, everything that you do. Bed is also the same thing. There are a handful of things that you should link with your bed. And I would say that's sex and sleep.
Sex and sleep.
Sex and sleep.
Love
Two
it.
S's. So there is something to be said about not working from bed and not doing other things in bed that sounds so weird, but like it's just like leaving those two things to be anchored. So if you are, going to sleep and like maybe you're someone who struggles with sleep, this is not a cure for insomnia by any means, but make sure you don't actually climb into your bed until you're ready to physically fall asleep. Right. Let yourself tire yourself out on your couch, scrolling, watching TV, reading a book, whatever it might be, and then go get cozy and fall asleep in bed. But the more and more you can associate these different corners in your home to those specific actions, the more and more they're going to anchor and happen.
Exactly. I even have that moment of I'm really good at reading in bed and like falling asleep on my book, right? So
which is also fine.
Which is fine. Yeah. But there are days where I'm like, gosh, I wish that I was reading on my couch instead. So there is that separation of like sleep and reading should be tied to my couch, right?
And I also think even that is an anchor. Like okay, when you're in bed, you read to fall asleep. Like you've created this pattern
it's
and
pattern.
association of like, okay, when I'm in bed, I get really cozy and I like
Mhm.
pull up the new book that I'm reading and I fall asleep. Versus maybe when you read on your couch in the morning, you don't fall asleep because maybe you're more so reading personal development. You can even anchor in that way. If you want to read in bed, I think that's fine. But I think it's just doing it in a way of I'm associating the cozy to fall asleep experience versus the reading to learn something or really just stay awake and have a cozy reading day, but on the couch.
Right. You're right. That is a different vibe, which I actually really appreciate because even as an example, I know you and your husband have lighting that is different colors that completely set the mood in different tones
100%.
for your brain, and your brain associates the lighting in the room to different activities.
We are big lighting people. The overhead light is an absolute sin. Hate them. Unless I'm like up and trying to be productive, they're like jarring and aggressive to the eye, in my opinion. So we are super big mood lighting people. So at night for us, when it's time to go to bed, all of our lamps go red because red light is like the best for falling asleep. And honestly, I don't even know the science behind that, if I'm going to be completely honest, but it does work. It's just chills you out.
Yeah.
So all of our lamps go red when we're ready to like wind down and actually go to sleep. Whereas during the day, not that.
I'm just getting into the lighting game. So I just got a couple of large lamps that go all over my apartment. And Brooke is the one that told me to put a lamp in my bathroom.
Love.
And
It's
that
the
is,
best thing.
yeah, that vibe is so differently. So if you're taking a bath and you have a lamp on, it's just, the mood is totally different.
Again, overhead lighting, aggressive.
Totally aggressive.
Put a lamp in your bathroom, on the bathroom counter, and that way you can still do the candle moment, but I don't find you need as many candles. And I have cats, so like candles, cats, not always the
Not
best
really the
combination, especially when we're like in a bathtub wet and like can't easily run to chase the cat who caught his tail on fire. Happened to me. So like it's just a moment. Lamp in the bathroom, such a vibe. Lamp in the kitchen, in the corner, such a vibe.
Yeah,
like
that
I
would be
think
my next lamp.
there's a lot of things that you can do to change the vibe of the space. That way, if you are living in even a studio apartment, you could make that apartment feel like a totally different space at different points in the day to be able to anchor into different feelings. So you can have the productivity mode of your apartment, and then you can have the wind down mode of your apartment and the wind up mode of your apartment, whatever you want it to be. But have different settings, different vibes, ambiances to anchor different experiences.
And even something simple that I do myself, because I'll find myself at night picking up my computer again and working at night.
Yeah.
Again, habits, right? We are not perfect. That's why we're on this podcast, to tell you all the things.
Yep.
But during, like in the morning, all of my blankets that should be on my couch are usually rolled up in like a blanket basket. Because if I have blankets on my couch, I associate that with I'm going to go sit on the couch and snuggle a blanket.
Genius.
And so I actively do that every night before I go to bed. I will roll up those blankets and put them away. Because if they're out in the morning, I will actively think, well, I'll just stay home today in my sweatpants and like my cats can snuggle me and it's fine. I'll get work done from the couch. It's no big deal. And then I realize 6 hours later, I haven't moved from the couch and productivity is different.
And your neck is killing you.
Correct.
My
butt's killing me.
Every time.
Like you are actively choosing how to change your mindset on something. So I'm sure there are people out there that will comment and be like, hey, I feel the most productive when I am in my sweatpants and I am working from my couch. Amazing. That means that anchor was completely different from my anchor, and that's fine. But these are just tips that we have for our personal experience.
So what would be 3 things that you would do and share with someone if they're like, okay, I want to anchor and create a productivity corner in my apartment? What are the 3 things that you would tell them to do?
I love this.
And then I'll answer too.
No, I love this. Okay. Well, number one, I'm kind of a neat freak. So if my desk isn't clean, I will not use it. So number one, a clean desk, like a clean space. If I have stacks of books, random bills, all that stuff that I just like chuck on my desk, I will not work there. And I know that about myself. And so it has to be a clean space. Number 2, shout out to State of Being candles, because one thing that I do when I really want to feel productive, especially abundant, I will literally light their abundant candle, and that builds that productivity of abundance in my space. And I know there's a whole science about scent and spaces.
Yeah.
So in your brain. Number 3, oh man, I'm going to have to say probably music, because I pick different music for my different vibe. And it is very clear if you walk into my apartment and I'm working, it's because I have classical on, or I have R&B, but just like the beats, or something that I cannot memorize the words because I will not focus.
Yeah, that's
So
huge.
yeah, or it's like lo-fi or something like
Yeah.
that. So for me, it's very much a clean space. I am going to light this candle with intention that I'm going to remember this, and this is why I'm feeling productive.
And it's the same scent every time.
Same scent every time.
That makes a huge
Yep.
difference to anyone
Yep.
who tries this.
Yep. And then lastly, the vibe of the music.
Mhm.
Like it has to be so good. Like those are my brain triggers.
I love this. So mine, honestly, I could repeat those exact same three. So I'll give like some additional ones that I also do. I think having a specific action. So mine desk is right next to a window. So for me, opening the blinds. Like literally just like opening the blinds. No matter if it's gloomy outside, dark outside, light outside, I don't really it's dark. Sometimes I don't love it because I feel like I'm like
in a fishbowl.
Yeah.
That's different.
But
during the day.
Then, but like during the day. Blinds. Because for me, if the blinds are closed, kind of like you with a blanket, I am like the house is closed.
It's cozy.
Like it's a cozy day. Like I'm gonna put a movie on, I'm gonna put the fireplace on, I'm going to grab a drink and watch a show. Versus work, like I want everything to be light and bright and natural light, everything. So for me, the action of opening the blinds and standing behind my desk is part one of my anchor.
It's brilliant.
Two, I just know me and I will find any, especially if I'm doing a project that I don't feel like doing, I will find any excuse to step away from my desk. And a lot of times that excuse is beverages because I always need a drink and I can't be satisfied with one drink. So I will have typically 3 drinks on my desk.
This is very true.
At minimum.
This is very true. I'll see
My
it on
ADHD
Zoom
is
calls.
speaking. A water because hydration, something fun. So maybe that's a recess, maybe it's a sparkling water. I don't really drink soft drinks, but like something fun, something with a bite, something sparkly. And then coffee of some sort, whether it be iced or typically black, straight black, just plain. So for me, also having those beverages for 2 reasons. 1, because I'm going to end up wanting to drink all of them throughout the entire working experience. And 2, if they're already there, I don't have an excuse to go walk away
Go
and get one or go peruse the pantry or whatever it might be. And then last but not least, I would say the same with music, but for me, it's also headphones. Like I know that like in my little corner, once I'm standing at my desk, I open the blinds, I have my beverage display, and I put headphones on with same instrumental music because if there's words I'm singing, it's go time.
I love this so much.
And then it's the same when I'm done too. And for anchors, the cool thing about them is they're the same when you close them, if you will. Once I take those headphones off, close the blinds, step away from the desk. It's the closest you get to leaving work when you work from home.
Correct. Oh, gosh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's literally incredible. Because for me, it's the music change at the end of the day is usually one of the first things that'll go. Right.
Yeah.
I'll close my laptop. But once I turn on Kelly's hits and I'm making dinner, we're done. Like different that is vibe. It. I'm getting ready for yoga. That's a different kind of music. I have to go shower. That's a different kind of music. My entire life is basically music.
Yeah. I love.
Yeah. And so that I really like that like unanchoring.
Yeah.
I've never really thought about it, but that's just a natural thing that I do.
Yeah. It's just like closing it down and kind of being like, okay, releasing that moment and moving into the next. So
amazing. If you could say one song is like the soundtrack to your life, what would you say?
Soundtrack to my life?
Yeah.
That's too big of a question. It changes daily. Currently, the song that I'm listening to on obsessive repeat is See Her Out by Francis and the Lights. It makes me feel like I'm the main character in my own movie and I'm about to get the promotion or something like that. Which is funny because I work for myself, so I don't know what the promotion is. But, you know.
We'll get you a promotion.
Yeah. Yeah. But like that, I would say currently that is my song that is hyper-fixationed in my playlist. How about you?
Honestly, I'd probably have to say, I don't know if I have a song. For me, it's like the vibe. So like 90% of my day, I'm listening to R&B. You know, and so I would probably say like.
But no music.
Right.
I mean, no words.
Right.
Yeah.
But then like I will switch to a word R&B playlist. So it's like all the R&B type vibes all day. If I have to pick one, honestly, I'm on like this really intense Neo kick right now.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a throwback.
I know it. So basically anything Neo. I love on this. Repeat.
I love this. That's
Neo, if you're listening, big fan.
Big fans. Haven't listened in years, but big fan. Last but not least, we've talked about music so much, and since we're on the topic, I'm just going to share my favorite music to listen to while I'm working. Again, it changes all the time. Sometimes I want a little bit more. So, but like instrumental playlist, Bridgerton has a piano playlist. It's like Bridgerton instrumental. Literally type that in on your Apple or your Spotify. So good. can be slightly distracting sometimes because it's like we all know these songs, so like you can start to sing them in your head. But if I have like a low focus thing that I'm doing, I can totally get away with listening to that. If I need to be so zoned in that like there is no word that will come to mind, I will listen to hertz, like 528 hertz, which can be really boring. So once you start listening to them and you're like, what the hell, this is the most boring thing ever, like stick with it, because one, hertz are like really good for your brain. It can actually change your energy and your vibration, but it also, once you get past it, it almost becomes white noise and you are just in the zone.
I bet it's actually more powerful with your headphones on.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Headphones on
That's
always.
totally different because I've listened to hertz like trying to go to sleep or whatever,
Mhm.
and it is different.
Mhm.
So I can imagine with your nice headphones in, it completely changes the whole thing.
Like a noise canceling headphone.
Yeah, I love that.
It's a necessity for work, in my opinion.
I will second the Bridgerton playlist. Anything Vitamin String Quartet, I will listen to.
Ooh, yes, I agree with that.
Yep. For whatever reason, sometimes some movie soundtracks that I've watched over and over and over again, I can listen to because it re-registers in my brain. It's just almost that white noise that I still need. But a lot of lo-fi, hip hop, R&B type,
whatever it might
beats.
be.
Yep.
Another thing that can be really fun too, when it comes to finding your happy space in your home, go on YouTube, and you know how sometimes people type in the fireplace video.
Oh yeah,
I do that all the time. I'll do the fireplace one, sure, but I more so do like insert ambiance aesthetic, and the video will come up. So like I'm trying to manifest to move back to New York City. I'll say that aloud. I would literally type in like New York City aesthetic jazz playlist.
Love that.
And it's just like chill. And sometimes if I hate the music, I just mute it and put my own music on because again, headphones.
It's the visual.
But like that visual is happening on just another screen around me, and
that's smart too.
It's a little low-key manifesting while you're working type of moment. But you can also anchor work mode when you have these aesthetic things on. Totally up to you.
That's really lovely.
Yeah, I love it.
Amazing. Please let us know what your anchors are, how you stay productive in your home. Maybe there's some things that you know that would really help us.
Yeah.
Because I would love to hear any and all of those details from you guys. But till next time.
Thank you so much for listening. Please follow us on Find Your Fuze and at Fuze the Agency if you are here and have any marketing or design questions. Cheers. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. We have new episodes coming out every Thursday, so we will catch you in one of the next ones.
And please take some time, follow us on @FindYourFuze or email us at info@findyourfuse.com for all inquiries and all exciting things that you want to chat with us about. We love building this community and we love you. Take some time and leave a review. Anything above 5 stars, we'd love it. But really, we appreciate you and we appreciate your feedback in any form because the more feedback we can get, the better we'll get.
Okay, love you. Bye.